First, what is your opinion on the current state of Brisbane's transport?
Public transport's been a bit of an issue. So the last few years, there's been a lot of infrastructure work on, tunnels and bridges that are toll. You have to pay the go on. It's about $10 billion worth. If you include the second bridge, what's that bridge called? Sorry, my note's not working very well. But yeah, it's at least 10 billion, if not $12 billion worth of transport infrastructure, which is a huge amount. But unfortunately, congestion hasn't reduced. There's a concept you can look up called induced demand. And what that means basically is, when you're building more road infrastructure, it encourages more people to drive, which then clogs up the roads again. And continue to, try and build your way out of it. But it never works, and it's never worked in any city anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
Cities that have tried and failed are going the other way. Like Los Angeles, for example, just went crazy road-wise, and they're going the exact opposite now. They've learned from their mistakes. In Brisbane, demands. The demand for is still pretty high with regards to road space. Congestion is really high. Unfortunately, in that time where all this money is being spent, there's been an underinvestment in public transport, and the prices have risen. So Brisbane's got the highest public transport costs in Australia, and one of the top 5 in the world. And when those prices have gone up, people have stopped using it. So there's less people using public transport than there was in 2011, as an example, and prices have gone up a lot in that time. So there is a bit of a general recognition now that the prices have got to go down. There is a state government fare review, and we're not sure of the timing with regards to that, but that'll be coming out. One of the real issues as well is when all those billions of dollars were being spent on road infrastructure for cars, there was an underinvestment in public transport infrastructure, which made it a problem in the way that if you reduce prices dramatically, more people want to use it, but they actually didn't spend enough money on trains and buses to handle that demand, so they had to keep prices reasonably high. But they've caught up a little bit now that there is enough buses and trains to bring prices down. So we'll just have to see how far they go. So that's something that we've been working on in the few council areas, really encouraging the state government and giving them ideas how to do it. So, and again, learning from other states where things have worked really well.
Cool.
That's a bit of a ramble, but I've just had a coffee, so I'll just chat away.
Yeah. What improvements do you plan to implement if you're elected to do with transport?
Well, I can't tell you all of them because we haven't yet, but cost is a really big one. Cost is set by Transit, which is state government, or being a bit privatised, but City Council does have an impact in that, and City Council can directly give Transit money for certain things. So what we have proposed so far is to go back to 2011 prices, and for council to pay that amount of money, because 2011 was when people stopped using public transport due to price issues, so we want to go back to that level at least, so that more people start using it, and more people using public transport, the less people there on roads, and the less need for road spending, etc. Another one is with regards to people on unemployment benefits. So every other state and territory in Australia, unemployed people or people on New Start allowance get half price fares. In Queensland they don't, which is quite an issue for people who are employed with regards to getting out for seeking employment. So New Start allowance is very low, and things have been kind of pushed up for quite a long time. And there's a real barrier there for people getting out and about, particularly if you live in the suburbs. If you've got to spend $7-8 to get into the city and back or more to go to a job interview where the employment is, that's a real barrier for people going to lots of job interviews and finding work. Another one we've been looking at is free off-peak transport for seniors and people on pensions, including disability pensions. So this is something we've been doing in the Gold Coast and doing in Adelaide and Perth, which has worked really well. Off-peak times, the buses aren't full. And again, it's cost of living issues for seniors and pensioners, and it helps them get out